Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of the Bizarre the Unknown. We are going to do another show on the Wendigo. And I won't say
Yes.
that name too many tonight, but we have my good friend here, my good brother, Ryan Paul Tremblay, to kind of help us out.
What up? What up?
So we will share a couple pictures. And so what I want to do is, Ryan, if you wouldn't mind, kind of let everybody know a little bit about you and your show.
Well, all right. So I've been into cryptozoology for well over 20 years. I'm a monster geek. Anybody that has me on Facebook, you can tell I love Godzilla and Creature from the Black Lagoon and Dracula and anything that's a monster, dude. So if it's a monstrosity, then I'm probably much in love with it. So yeah, and I go from show to show, dropping in and talking about Wendigo and Yinararushi and Raven Mockers and all that good stuff.
Heck yeah. I kind of picked this subject this week because I finished my historical fiction Viking Age Secrets of Mercia, and I
Mhm.
picked up back on my Saga Grimson Book 3, Revenge of the Big W.
Right.
If you guys have read my book, Saga Grimson Book 1, Grimson had fought this dude and killed him, took away his body in book 1, and the thing has come back for revenge, and he is wreaking havoc on the eastern outpost in the New World. So I was like,
Right.
man, I want to kind of tie this back together, being this is what I'm doing on this. So I
Mhm.
was talking to this, and there's very few people as knowledgeable as William Nighthawk or Ryan here when it comes to the Big W. So that's why I
Yeah.
was like, hey, dude, you wanna hop on here? Hey,
So
Will.
many people avoid
So
it.
let's kick her out. I want it.
Yeah, so many people
Oh,
avoid the
dude.
Wendigo. It's odd, dude. Like people don't want to talk about it, but they want to post pictures and say, "Oh, this is a Wendigo. This is a Wendigo," and it's never a Wendigo. When they show those pictures, it's so far off, dude.
Yeah. Well, and I'll be honest with you, up until last winter when I had the experience I had out here, which is the only time I've ever had fear on my property,
Mm-hmm.
I have never thought twice about saying the name multiple times. I had
Mm-hmm.
literally done a show about it with DA that winter, and all of a sudden I got stalked and harassed by something for a few months out here.
Oh
That
boy.
was the only time. I mean, I've got Bigfoot activity all over my property. I've never had an issue with that before. And they will let me know when it's time for me not to be in the woods, and I won't go in there unless I absolutely have to. Now, I'm packing pretty heavy when I do, but I get in, get my crap done, and I come out. So, that's I've never had a trouble with that. I've never had thing harass me until last winter. Now I
Mm.
can't tell you that it was the big W. I just know it was kind of weird what happened. In fact, I couldn't see it, but I can hear it moving all around me, scraping on stuff, messing with stuff. That I
Ooh.
was like, okay, this is this because we get them down here. We've had them all the way down to the Arkansas border, Missouri
Mhm.
Arkansas border on the Missouri side. So I'm like, oh shit, you know.
With
So
the
ever
Wendigo,
since then, I'll be honest with you.
but with
Huh?
the Wendigo, it has to be very specific conditions, and I think a lot of people get confused because when the Algonquins and the Cree and the Ojibwe say not to speak about the Wendigo, what they mean is they don't mean to revere it or talk negatively about it. Because when you talk negative about the Wendigo, you're feeding its energy, but when you revere it, you're
Mm-hmm.
kind of making it know that you exist. So you have to be really careful how
Mm-hmm.
you talk about this thing.
Well, yeah, exactly, and that may be why a lot of people don't like doing shows about it. I
Hmm.
mean, this time of year here, I think I'm pretty good. Our nights get a little cool, but our days are still pretty daggone hot. And
Yeah.
what was coming after me, mimicking my dog, and all that last winter, that was happening at nighttime.
Okay.
But it was winter. I do
Right.
know they'll come out in the day. We know these things are, to me, my personal opinion is these things are a Native American demon. Clearly, because it was created by a Native American caught in a storm that was hungry and cold, and the first spirit he asked that it would save him. He said he would worship him. Hey, Miss Moon.
Hey, Miss
Um,
Moon.
and it come to find out it was the very spirit that killed one of his friends. I can't remember if it was a friend or his brother. I believe it was a friend,
Yeah, it
and
was a
trapped
friend.
him in that cave. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's what I was thinking. And then all of a sudden now he was cursed with the curse of the Wendigo.
Yeah, and it's funny because the name Wendigo
So
itself, it actually had two meanings. Like the original meaning, the Wheatigo, that was actually derived from the Algonquin term for oneself. It meant somebody that was very greedy. But later on, after the deal with the devil, it became known as the spirit who devours.
Yeah, because it's known as the spirit of hunger and cold, or hunger and frost. The other name is Wendigo. Is another name for it. Or we? No, I said that wrong. Wendigo. Yeah, Wendigo is the other name for it. Ryan, Roxanne has a question. She says, "Ryan, can a Wendigo be anywhere in the world?" And this is something we kind of talked about, because being a supernatural entity, I feel they can, just because there's several reports of ghouls, which are jinn, that's over in France instead of Middle East. And being these are supernatural powers, I believe they can travel under the right conditions.
No. Actually, the Wendigo, it can't go too far. It is actually specified to a certain race of people. So you and I, we wouldn't really be under its influence, because we're not Algonquin, we're not Cree, we're not Ojibwe, and it needs the energy from those people. So since those tribes aren't all over the world, it's kind of fixated to only certain areas. If that tribe went from, like, say from Canada to Maine, the Wendigo could go from Canada to Maine. It's got to be with that bloodline. It has to stick to those bloodlines. Otherwise, the Wendigo, the demon itself, it has no influence.
So that's interesting, because we don't have them down here, but we have reports mainly in the St. Louis area, but they have been known. Hey, Dario. They have been known to be even down in my neck of the woods to down to the Arkansas border. Now, most of them up northern part of St. Joe or northeastern part of Missouri is where you get the majority of the encounters, and that's generally where it's the coldest at. I mean, it's generally coldest there. We get colds here, not like we used to, but we do get our colds here.
So you got to remember, though, that the Algonquin and the Cree, the Ojibwe, they traveled all over in different parts in the U.S. They didn't stay everywhere. They did travel through. They migrated past these certain places. So, I mean, I think if the tribes actually went through there, the influence is still there. Their footprint is still there somewhere historically. So the Wendigo can follow in those footsteps.
Yeah. Which, and what this is something where science kind of plays in with me. We're all pretty much tied one way or another through a bloodline. So even if the actual tribe itself is not there, the essence of that tribe can be there, because, I mean, take United States alone. We're a freaking melted pot of God knows how many freaking cultures. So, I mean, there's so many bloodlines that run through our body. Native Americans were very well known for not only stealing women from other tribes, but purposely meeting at the great rendezvous to trade for women and marry and food and all this other stuff. It was the times they had during a peace when they weren't fighting each other. But, so that's where I kind of go on that. It's like, well, I can see where the possibility of them being outside of that area, because, well, the bloodline would be outside of that area.
Yeah. And you also got to take into account, though, Ashley beat me to it, but a lot of people don't know the correct depiction of a Wendigo. You've had the rake being called the Wendigo. You have the Yinaralushi being called Wendigo. You even have people calling Dogman and Bigfoot a Wendigo. So when you get these Wendigo reports, you got to ask them, okay, what did this look like to you? And if they start giving you the stag-headed thing that had on 4 legs with a long tail and fur, that's when you stop them and go, okay, that's not a Wendigo. That's not how any of the tribes ever depicted this thing. So, Roxanne, every tribe,
and that's what. Oh, sorry. Yeah, they do, and which would stand the reason. I mean, for me, a lot of rakes and wraith type entities, your pale crawlers we hear about. When I hear the description of them, a lot of them to me sound very much like a Wendigo, because it's got the horns, it's got the ashen skin, it's gaunted, long fingers, long teeth. A lot of them fit with, but there is a lot of them, like you just described, it has the antlers and stuff like that. Now, originally, with my book cover, I did have it that way because, well, that's pop culture for you. But the more I thought about it, the more it upset me. It's like, I can't do this. I've got to change this. And that's why I went back to the traditional way of looking at it.
Well, I mean, that's kind of it's a misinterpretation, though.
What you see in the background.
So what happened with the deer-headed Wendigo is that actually was derived from Algernon Blackwood's book. when he wrote the book, The Wendigo,
Mm-hmm.
he drew pictures that had something that looked like branches off of its head. And people misinterpreted that as antlers or, a deer-like entity, which was a really,
Mm-hmm.
big stretch. It was a big-time misinterpretation that they didn't pay attention to anything that Algernon said.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's kind of cool though, because do you know we kind of hit this a little bit backstage, or a little bit. We were talking about a little bit live. It's interesting how much that entity reminds you of entities around the world.
Yeah.
I mean, take the ghoul for an instance. A ghoul is a type of jinn. It's a very evil jinn. It's a jinn of hunger. Which has been cited in France in no man's land during World War I, consuming the bodies in no man's land.
True.
True. And so, I mean, that took that out of the Middle East. But it's so interesting how them things, if you actually listen to the descriptions of these ghouls, are very similar to what we got here, the Big W.
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely, because
it's
every religion, every culture, we all have the same fears. Okay, we might believe in a different God, we might believe in a different heaven, a different hell, but essentially we all have the same fears. Okay, so us, the white dudes have the same fears as the native tribes, just it takes a different form. And what's the biggest sin that somebody can commit in Christianity? That's committing themselves to the devil, right? So even with the tribes, the biggest fear and biggest sin you could commit was giving yourself to the evil gods that they had, so that's why they all tie together in some way.
Oh yeah. So I mean, and you got to think too. I mean, if you go on the biblical side of it, we all looked the same, spoke the same, and acted the same, and believed the same until the fall of the Tower Bible, where Yahweh split the tongue and divided the people. So when this is something I always talk about on anything dealing with cryptid, supernatural, paranormal, why there's so many similarities throughout the world is my belief is because of that right there. In fact, we all had all that same beliefs and stuff like that at one time until we were split. That's how my research of ancient history and religions, that's just what I've led down to. And I think that is why we have so many similarities. Are they the same thing? I can't 100% say no. I can't 100% say yes, because there's too many similarities to it.
Right.
But it's a really good idea. I mean,
the fear
really
of us
good idea.
Hunted, the fear of being hunted, the fear of something devouring us alive, that's embedded in our DNA. I mean, there's nobody alive that's not afraid of being hunted by something superior. And there's nobody alive that's not afraid of being devoured. Everybody has that common fear.
Oh, yeah. We all do. And what's the scariest thing in the world is having something evil come after you. Because we've got that. It's rooted in the back of our brain for for thousands upon thousands, if not millions of years. Hey, we need to fear this stuff in the dark.
Yeah.
We fought with Neanderthal. We bred with Neanderthal. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. It's all that stuff is there. Supernatural, paranormal, and cryptid stuff has been a part of our lives since we crawled out of the primordial ooze, or if that's the way you want to believe it. But pretty much since our existence, we've always been hunted or have been the hunter. So that fear, there's always been a part in our time where we've been hunted, and that's why it's always ingrained. That's why, I tell people all the time, you can tell when you're being hunted. I've been hunted by man and beast and supernatural crap and cryptid stuff. I've been hunted by that crap. When you're being hunted, that is, you don't forget that, and it's like bam, instantaneous. Crap, I've got eyes on me. Crap,
it doesn't even have to be a supernatural thing. I mean, when I was stalked by a mountain lion, dude, I knew there was something there. I didn't see the mountain lion for a while. It was me and my buddy. We had this feeling, the hairs on our arms were standing up on end, and we were getting the goosebumps and the cold sweats. We just knew something's following us. And then lo and behold, it's a freaking mountain lion. That's a predatory cat. So when that's following you, you're kind of going, hey, whoa, this isn't good. We're going to die. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I remember the very first time I've ever had a cougar track me down. I mean, it was not too far down the road here, actually. That is a feeling you never forget. I mean, it is, everything that's ever came after me has had a different feeling, but it's been similar.
Yeah.
It really is the intensity of the entity that's doing it, is the level of the feeling that you get. And that's probably
True.
about the best way that I can describe that is
I
that
agree.
right there. You know, I've
I'd agree.
done several paranormal investigations and supernatural investigations, and I've done some cryptid stuff. I mean, I've done more of the paranormal and supernatural than I have the cryptid, but each one of them has a level feeling, which comes to Sten, the old Native American proverbs. When you're hunting, you don't think about hunting because your thoughts soar through the air like arrows on an open field, and they could pick up on that. It's the same concept as when you yourself are being hunted. And that's
Correct.
where you get that click in the back of your brain. Holy crap, something is after me. It's that very same concept. So, I mean, telepathically, however you want to do it, you know, hey, Woo, we all can't be perfect, buddy. Woo's giving me crap for being a KC fan. Yeah, I mean, granted, yeah, we're down 25-23. There's still plenty of game. You know, this all plays into that effect, and it's going to matter. And the only way we're going to learn about this stuff is not only us coming, you know, and we both have different opinions on this subject, which is what I love. I love the fact that we have different opinions because we sit together and talk about it. We
Right, as it should be.
can't learn if my way is the highway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's either my way or the highway. You can't learn that way. You study ancient history on the people who most well known. That is where you're going to learn most of your stuff, and us talking together. And that's why I love this. And that's why I was like, dude, I got to have you on for this. Yes and no. I mean, if you guys recall, a few months ago, I was doing a live because I'd found some stuff and messed with my stuff I had out in the tree or out in the woods from the documentary I was in, Byways of Bigfoot with Linda Eastburn. And there came a point where I heard something in the woods. Me and Snow, you know, you guys know Snow. Me and him had heard it. He hightailed it out of the woods and left my ass there. And he wouldn't come back in. He stayed at the wood line. He was pacing back and forth to the wood line. And this is the time I got that feeling. And you hear me say, it's like, I'm pissing these guys off. Because this is the fourth time I've been in the woods trying to gather stuff up. You know, because I'm tagging the bag. It's like an evidence deal. I'm out there with my gloves. I'm out there with evidence bags, marking stuff. I'm putting it up because I'm trying to do everything the correct ways and to try not to contaminate it any more than I had to. And that's it. During the live, I'm going, I mean, I can't find my dog. You know, where the hell's my dog? I'm calling for him. He doesn't. I mean, he's stuck to my side, you know, like glue. I mean, he's always at my side. So it had me worried, and I cut my live short. And finally, I found him. He was out in the field on the edge of the woods. He didn't want to come in, and I was like, dude, okay, that tells me right there. And it's time for us to, you know, exit stage left because if he's not
what
happened in the woods next to my side.
So your dog was basically telling you on the way, I got your back, but then later on he's like, no, I'll come back for you is what I meant, and he took off. Okay.
Yeah. That's exactly what he's doing. He's like, I got your back, promise, away from over here.
Yep, I got your back over here. Smart.
But I love it because he's my little buddy. I mean, he travels with me everywhere I go. He's right behind me on the floor.
Yeah, I got one of those too.
Right now. He's
right there. There's Duke.
Yeah.
Hey, Duke. Oh, he's sleeping. He doesn't want to say hi. Hey, Dookie. There he is.
Yeah, I seen him moving around a little bit. Yeah.
That's my boy.
But I mean, and they are good for that. You know, my fear though is I don't want nothing to happen to them. That's why it's always bothers me when it gets that way. It's like, damn, I got my dog in the woods. I don't want nothing happening to my dog. You know.
Oh,
are they good to let me know something ain't right?
We'd have problems. Whatever got my dog, we would have problems. I'd go full John Wick. Nope.
Oh, hell yeah. Either I'm going to whoop its ass or I'm going to wind up as a steamy pile of turds on the forest floor. Either way, I'm going to go down fighting.
Same here, man. Same here.
But that's the thing that bothered me about this winter with the entity that was messing with us, with me. And I was messing with my daughter and her friend as well. And I had no way to protect myself.
Oh.
You know, if you read the legend, you need pure silver mixed with white ash, or you need it's an oak box inlaid with pure silver white ash buried in the ground in order to trap it and keep it from coming. So I'm like, I have nothing. I have no bullets with that. I have no knife with that. I have nothing.
That's if you kill it, though. If you're trying to stop it physically, what you can do though is a very simple thing that keeps the Wendigo away: heated beef tallow, beef fat. because the beef fat represents a way of not only feeding your hunger, but it melts the ice around the creature's heart. So if you have beef tallow in your pantry, you can actually use that.
I never heard of that. That's actually new for me.
Yeah. So
I mean, I'm fluffy, so I can't.
Hey, I mean, it's not going to hurt
I eat plenty
you.
of beef.
It's beef fat. Just, heat it up, boil it up, and, put some outside. It'll keep it away. It's like, okay, well, this guy's not hungry. He's not going to go cannibal, so I'm not going to have an effect.
And see, that's what I was wondering, because I was like, okay, this thing is obviously hunting me. I can hear it on my camper, which was 10 feet diagonal to my right behind me. I heard it literally scratching on my camper, and when I shot my flashlight around, it wasn't there. I heard it in the woods when I in the cedar trees. I heard it moving around. When I flashed my flashlight, there was nothing there. When I got to my truck and grabbed my pistol, took it off of safety, and put it in my lap, I can literally hear tree limbs scraping on all sides of my truck. But the closest tree was a cedar tree 6 feet away, and it wasn't a very tall cedar tree.
Whoa.
Now this is the whole stuff that's going on. Yeah.
That's creepy.
What started it was I was walking back to my house because I broke down at the end of my drive, which I've got a pretty decent little drive.
Of course.
Driveway to my house. And I kept hearing something mimicking it. It sounded like a dog bark. And hey, Kevin, and the closer I got to it, I'm going, that's not a dog, dude. That's really not a dog. It's something trying to mimic a dog. So I pull out my phone and start recording it. And then I realized, oh, shit, my flashlight's on. And about the time I put it to my chest, you can hear the last time it tried to mimic dogs, and it quit because it caught that I was there. As soon as I came out in the open from beside the dump truck, I was in the open. It was in the woods, wood line right to the north of my trailer. And that's where it was mimicking at. And I can hear it mimicking. I can hear my dogs inside barking back at it.
Whoa.
They were barking back at each other. And then, hey, Corey, so it found out that I was there because, stupid me wasn't thinking I had the flashlight on my phone.
Oh.
So you can hear it in the video I've got. It's labeled mimic. You'll hear it right in the tree line. And then you'll hear my dogs respond to it. Then it quit after that. And I was like, dude, this ain't good. This
could
ain't
be your answer right there, though. You ever heard of a mimic before?
Mm-hmm.
A mimic is another entity.
And that's what I labeled that video.
Okay.
All its own? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I labeled it mimic because literally it was mimicking animals. Now, I do know the Big W will mimic. I do know Bigfoot will mimic. And there's the mimic itself will mimic. I do know those will mimic. And I believe they say the rake and wraith will too, but I could be wrong.
That's another interesting thing.
Big.
That's another interesting point, because in the original lore, actually, the Algonquin and Cree tribes never said anything about mimicking anybody. What they did say is the Wendigo would kind of mess with somebody telepathically. They never said it would echo or mimic human sounds, but you would hear it in your head. That's how they didn't know if somebody was becoming Wendigo, because the victim, the intended vessel, would be the one to hear the Wendigo. Nobody else would hear it. So that's why they were so scared of it. It wasn't something they could predict and be like, oh, well, everybody's hearing this Wendigo. So the person that was hearing it would have to say, hey, I'm hearing its noises in my head.
Yeah, well, that's cool. And I do know they also talk about that it keeps a lot of its humanity in ways of thinking. But it actually thinks smarter than when it did when it was a actual human. So not only does it have like lightning ass speed, tremendous strength, and a ferocious hunger, it's more intelligent than human, because it's not only got its intelligence from when it was a human, but it's also got the intelligence from the supernatural power of it as well.
Yes.
And so, I mean, I knew it had a lot of that. And I mean, I heard plenty of stories of them mimicking. I didn't know that was in the head, though. I did read a couple stories of that being in the head, but I never knew that was just in the head. When I tried to do research on it, not even a year ago. I mean, it was last winter.
Well, the Wendigo is problematic, though, Eric. It's a really problematic thing to research, because so many people have taken stories from the different tribes and they put their own twist on it. And I think that's really a big issue with current day researchers, because a lot of people looking into Wendigo aren't really even researchers. They're just, creepypasta channels, or there's somebody looking to write a scary story. So they don't take the original stories into account, and they don't stick to what the tribes actually said about the Wendigo.
Yeah, and that's what I find, because I've noticed trying to research this thing, there is so much crap out there. And I mean, a lot of it I brushed off. I just brushed off because I'm like, oh, dude, this can't be it. I mean, this is definitely creepypasta type crap. That's where the Wraith came in, the Wraith and stuff like that. Or not the
Slender Man,
not the Wraith, the Pell Crawler, Slender Man, all that. Because I was like, dude, that just fits too much with this creepypasta stuff, and there's just not enough in history that talks about these. And then that's when I got to studying some of the accounts, and I'm going, this is more like a big W than it is anything else by listening to it. Then you'll hear the ones like we talked about earlier. Yeah, it's got the antlers and stuff like that on it. So, I mean, it's I don't know. It gets kind of hard. I mean, and then I wanted to study throughout of history too. Oh my God, 3 seconds left. And we're still down by 2 points. I'm kind of keeping an eye on the game on the side here too. Is when I was like, okay, well, I want to know what goes on across this world, because I'm thinking supernatural entities are not bound to one area, because supernatural entities are just that, supernatural. And that's where I came up. I showed you one of the pictures before, and which I'm getting ready to pop that up here.
Okay.
Oh my God, I exited out of it.
Oh no. This
is the Marshkash. I can't say it because I'm not Hindu, so I speak.
Neither am I.
Yeah, but this guy here, I mean, if you study the stuff on him, he has a lot of the same characteristics of him. He's a human that's possessed by a supernatural entity, has a severe hunger, and is emaciated and gaunt and stuff like that. And this is what they talk about on this thing quite often. It's very similar to the Big W. Is that dude right there? Which
that goes back to what we were saying, though. Is every religion has something in common. There's some common thread. You just got to pull on the thread to see where it leads you. But a lot of them play on the fears. Oh, his team scored.
Take that, Woo. We won 26-25. Go ahead. I'm sorry, bud. That was a happy moment for me, because that was a nail biter game.
That's okay. So I mean, like I was saying,
I'm setting up the next one while you're talking.
Every culture has something in common, so that's why there's similarities between Wendigo and the one you just showed up to everybody else, because it's like the common fears. We're all sharing a fear. We all share these nightmare feels, and that's why it's all passed down. And religion is essentially the same. Where they don't want you eating another human being because it's barbaric, it's evil. So again, that's why almost every religion has something that's cannibalistic in their lore.
Yeah, and it's always that way. Very few cultures in this world or throughout history ever sanctioned cannibalism. It's always been very negative looked upon. Roxanne says, in Ava, Missouri, a video. On a video, a young man mentioned he saw I think I know what video you're talking about. A Big W, and looked in his window, and his window was 17 foot off the ground. Yeah, it's
he locked up on us, folks.
What the true depiction of a true Big W is. Let me get it popped up here for you. But it looked very similar to what this guy is right here.
Okay.
That is truly what they are most commonly known as, is this right here.
Yep.
If I remember right, in that video, that's what that thing looked like. If it's the same video that I'm thinking, if I'm wrong, Roxanne, let me know. But I believe that is the one that you're talking about. What's your thoughts on that? Have one at the window at 17.
Well, I mean, it's not unheard of, because in the Wendigo lore, the more it eats, the bigger it gets, the more it grows. So it becomes that ice giant. But I don't know, in Missouri though, and why I just looked in the window and it didn't do anything to the kid, that kind of baffles me. Because the Wendigo isn't known to just look at you and walk away. The Wendigo is going to look at you and chase you down to eat you. So I don't know if maybe the kid was making stuff up, or maybe he saw something else and it wasn't a Wendigo. I don't know.
The only thing I can think of, I mean, it looked like a really good video, and you can literally see the red eyes, the face, the teeth, everything through the video. Hey, Tim, you can see that in there. So if it was a legitimate video, if it's the exact same one that I'm thinking of, and like I said, I don't know if it's the same one Roxanne's talking about, but it sounds very similar to what I was watching one time.
Okay.
I mean, this thing it was ominous as hell. I mean, it would come up to the window like this, and then it would back away.
Interesting.
Yeah, it done that like 2 or 3 times. Yeah.
Can Roxanne find that video for us?
Yeah, she's got. I want to hit it up real quick because I want to get back to that one question there. The video is about the dark people show up. Has to do around the civil liberties war. They have a tour every Hallowed.
I'm assuming she means Halloween.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. All Hallows Eve. So this is actually she's actually saying this is at a Civil War memorial place, which is different than the video that I'm talking about. The one I'm talking about literally was in a dude's home.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look those both up then, because
Roxanne, if you can send me that video, Roxanne, I'll send it over to Ryan too.
I want to see
video. I want to see that because that's different than one I was thinking of. Literally took place in the dude's home because he kept hearing stuff scraping his window, and he kept hearing things scraping on the roof of his house, and so he took his phone out and started recording it, and all of a sudden his face just comes in this window and then backs away.
Wow, interesting.
Demo says, sorry if I missed it, but what do you think the antlered entity is? Obviously not a big W, as that's not how they are described. And yeah, we kind of talked about that earlier. What was it?
It was a misconception. So Algernon Blackwood wrote a book called The Wendigo, and he had, crude pencil drawings that were, advanced for the time, but he drew this giant that had branches stemming from its head. And modern day pop culture, they just took it and they thought, oh, it's antlers, it's a deer-headed creature. And that's where the deer-headed Wendigo stemmed from, was Algernon Blackwood's book, and the people not understanding what he was trying to convey there.
Yeah. Corey's got a question here. Says, how often do you guys hear something else trying to sound like a coyote, owl, or etc.? For me, it's always been my guest. The Bigfoot that come on my property are the ones that usually do that. And I've heard it before. And it's been so loud that it rang my ears and vibrated through my chest every time I've heard them do it. So for me, it's been that. I don't know about you.
Well, I mean, probably more often than I should, considering I investigate the Yinalalushi, the skinwalkers. I'm sure there's things mimicking coyotes and owls a lot more than I even want to know. So, Henry Rollins, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Okay, so that happened in Alvila. Alvila is a small town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Demos.
I was referring to what the sightings of horn antler entities are.
Misconception. It's people saying they saw a Wendigo and saying they saw the antlered creature when they didn't see an antlered creature. It's a lot of hoaxes. The Wendigo is actually probably the most hoaxed thing out there. It's something that people are like, oh, I saw this deer-headed creature. I saw a Wendigo. So.
Right. And if you can kind of see in the backdrop here, that's the artwork I created for my book that I'm working on.
That's accurate.
And that's why I went back to the original instead of how I did the pop culture one. Originally, I had the pop culture one. I went back to the original and created this one here that you see in my background, because this is actually what they look like. Now, and Ryan's right. The more they eat, and also the strength of what they eat, attributes to their growth.
Yeah. Another accurate depiction, though, is if you look up Swift Runner. Swift Runner was a Cree hunter back in 1878 that he got possessed by the Wendigo.
Yes.
He cannibalized his wife and his 5 children. And yeah, that's what a Wendigo would look like in the early stages of possession.
Yeah, too many creepypasta sightings. We were talking about that earlier, Demos. Yeah, there's a lot of that out there. A lot of misidentification stuff too. And we was kind of talking a little bit earlier. There's just a lot of stories, reports I've heard on the Pell Crawler and the rakes that are more Big W related than they are actually them entities because of how they describe what they look like. And we see that all the time, misidentification. You know, like when they try to tell you Dogman looks like Bigfoot. No, they're two different entities. They're two separate things. I mean, culture, history of the native people will tell you that alone. Not counting the history of the whole world talking about these things will tell you that alone. Yep.
Very true.
That is possible, but that's more of along the lines of the actual werewolves, because werewolves are created; they are not born. Unlike Dogman, are born, not created. That's more along that line with the Berserkers and the Ulfanar and stuff like that. Is very similar. Them cultures and them stuff. Talking with the SW, there is very similar because it's dark magic which creates them. Where a Big W was actually bestowed upon someone from an actual elemental spirit, from the spirit of cold and hunger.
You do know that the Yinaradushi weren't always evil, though, right? You know that when they first were around, when they originated, the Skinwalkers weren't a thing of evil at all. They actually became evil because of the Trail of Tears. So, if anybody
and that's yeah. And actually, it's not too far. And actually, this is a very good point. This is why DA and I are going to this area and investigating Roxanne, because that's not too far from me. Because there's several accounts that fit the Big W very well. And the fact that could be what caused them to be the way that they are. That's why me and him are going up to the Moon Valley area to investigate this, and is because of this factor right here.
I think people
it fits the bill very closely.
People got to stop assuming that any cannibal is Wendigo. I mean, the Algonquins, they're not there, so an Algonquin man isn't running around turning into a Wendigo. It could be other things too, like the Athabascans have the Wachuge. Okay, and that's another cannibal spirit. So we can't say that every act of cannibalism is the Wendigo. Okay, we have to look at other different things,
Demos, you're absolutely correct. That's why I'm doing this show here, because I want to. I'm not one of those that goes off the main topic. Okay, what is the current flavor of the month? I can't do that, man. I'd be doing you guys a disservice just as much as I'd be doing me a disservice. And that's why I'm doing like these shows like today, is because I want people to know the actual truth behind them. And Ryan is well more educated than I am on it. I just know stuff that I've studied through the Algonquin cultures, through stories, through encounters, and through personal experiences. He has got mountains and mountains of more knowledge above me. So that's why that's why I asked him to come on, is because I want people to know the truth about these things, because I'll be giving you a disservice telling you that, it's this way because this is what everybody wants. Hey, Uncut. So yeah, you're right. There's a lot of channels that do that, and that aggravates the holy living tar out of me because they do that. Right. It really endangers people by doing that. More than just disinformation. It really endangers people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, geez, Gary and Boondock. I tip my hat to those guys right now. They are spot on. You guys know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm trying to get caught up on these comments real quick. Yeah, Boondock is Corey Cole.
Okay.
His show is his name is going to be his new show that he'll be releasing. So Ashley wants to know, or just humans with severe mental health issues. Some of them are that way too. A prime example, I believe this is actually based on some truth. great show or great movies, but built on some truth, is Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. In the show, he turns into a Wendigo at some point.
I don't remember that part. I gotta check that out again. I forgot about that. Either I overlooked that or I have. No kidding. I know the Big W was in Pet Sematary.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was what bittered the Micmac burial ground. It was bringing people back from the dead, was a Wendigo.
Gary wants to know, weren't skinwalkers used to fight the Spanish in the Southwest?
Yep. 100%, dude. That's why I tip my hat.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that, and that's just look at your the dog soldiers transform. I mean, there's so many reports of them transforming into wolves to defend the Cheyenne dog soldiers. So you're seeing a lot of this stuff in a lot of cultures in a lot of areas. That's very similar to the SWs and all this other stuff. And that's why I love this. Hey, Kyle. I'm trying to get caught up on the comments here. Got a little behind answering stuff.
That's okay. It happens to everybody.
There we go. I'm caught up. So yeah, I mean these things here. I mean, and that's they're really, with a big W. There ain't nothing kind about these damn things. They're really not.
Absolutely not.
There's it ain't like Bigfoot. Bigfoot, you're gonna have someone that's cool. Some that are cool as all get as a cucumber. You got some are just plain dicks. I mean, Big W, they're buttholes all the way around.
It's nothing positive. That's why when people I had a woman try to tell me that she had a friendly Wendigo on her property that would come and see her during breakfast, and I'm like, no, you don't. You absolutely do not have a friendly Wendigo that comes and sits with you when you're having your cup of tea and your bagel. That absolutely is not happening.
That's clickbait stuff. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Uncut, that's true to an extent, but the Yinaralushi were more in the history of the Navajo than what people think. There's a very rich history with the Yinaralushi.
Roxanne says, with the evil by man going on in the world, could it be making them come back in full force?
Hey,
which one are you talking about? Big W or I mean, yeah, we know that evil. I mean, demons feed off of fear and hate. They feed off it. That's how they possess you easier. Is they bring that fear to you, and they'll mimic something that you fear a lot, so that they can more easily possess you. And that's why William and I talk about all the time, dude. If it's got red eyes, that damn thing's demonic. Well, I mean, is it actually taking that shape, or is it taking a shape that causes you fear so they can feed off you or possess you more?
Right. Good question.
Night vision went from red to green after Vietnam. That's because red, they were seeing demons flying around, and they had door gunners shooting at other people because they swear they were shooting demons. Yep. So it went from red to green because red is showing, actually shows the demonic demons that's running around the world.
That's frightening.
Yeah. Well, there are people of power who don't want to summon demons and bring them over here. So, I mean, there is a lot of people in power that practice Satanism, Luciferian, that think that they're controlling these entities. Now, I've said this before. I've never practiced dark magic. I've never done it. I've had plenty of family that have, and that's why what I've seen happen to them, I will never step in that field, because I've seen what happened. And the whole time they thought that they were controlling demons. But
there's common men that practice Satanism too, though.
Well, there's a lot of I'm a Freemason. I'm a 3rd degree Master Mason, which is the highest level you can get in Master Masons. I'm 3rd degree. Right. But a lot of us get a bad rep because of a certain group called the PJ2 Masons, where we're expelled from the fraternity because they were practicing Luciferian. So this stuff happens quite often. And a lot of times you'll see where it may not be the group in general that's doing it. Like being a Marine. When one Marine messes up, we all are ones that messed up. It's the same concept in a lot of this other stuff here. When we're talking about, people in power, you have to understand that too. It may be only a small group doing it, but it can give a whole lot of people a bad name. Or it could be a small group actually summoning them, where the other one's just talking about summoning them. Now they're all doing it. This is all this plays an effect on that.
It's the old adage, guilty by association. So,
yeah. I've tried 3D glasses. Can't see anything with them, no matter what the color. Have you tried folding them together, the red and blue? I'm kind of curious on that, Kyle. Also, Demo says, also supposedly there's a human DNA being put in certain types of food. If that's the case, could this give rise to the resurgence in the Big W activity?
I don't think so. I don't think that would have anything to do with it, because what the Wendigo is, what it represents, it's the corruption of an individual. Okay, so putting DNA in food, that's not going to do anything, because it's about the hunger, the greed, the starvation. If there's plenty of food, there's no Wendigo. Okay, that's why Swift Runner, the Native American we were talking about, the fur trader, he claimed he was starving, and the starvation led to him becoming Wendigo. So there has to be that starvation, like they're not near food, there's no source of food, and that's when they go bad. So
I'm trying to remember, see if I can pull up my old files. I had a file. There was more than just Swift Runner that had this happen to him. In fact, one got caught and the other one got away. There was actually accounts of an old man that was going off to kill one. He came across one, went to kill one, and he was stopped by the law. And finally, after so many of the these murders going on, they let him go and take care of the situation. Well, he took care of it, but he ended up becoming one himself because it was too late. They had stopped him way too soon, and the only way he could stop it was to consume it inside himself.
Hang on, I got somebody at my door, so let me go check who that is real quick.
The Rothschilds and Rockefeller funded that one, Tim. Some are said to be guardians, maybe be hostile, but friendly is not really there. Some children supposedly have had an okay experience. They did not see a dogman as fearful. And yeah, I mean, when it comes to dogman and Bigfoot, uncut, there's plenty of instances where they're friendly and protective. There's also some where they're coming after somebody.
Wait, I missed that comment. I missed the comment. Was he talking about Wendigo being guardians?
That's what I'm trying to figure out here. Some are said to be guardians, maybe not hostile, but friendly is not really there. Some children supposedly have had okay experiences. They didn't see dogmen as fearful, innocent children. With Big W, man. I'm sorry, dude. They're not friendly in any way.
No.
Really not.
No, there's
your dogman. Yeah, but when
Ashley, stop making fun of my dog,
man. 2 sets of 3Ds and can't see anything. Oh, no kidding. Yeah, I haven't tried it yet. And from what I understand, it's the old school ones that work the best. I don't know. I have not tried it myself, Kyle. I really don't know. I know that's what they say.
Ashley, I'm going to tell Duke. I'm telling on you right now. Hey, Duke, Ashley called you lazy. Oh, well, he just proved her right. Dang.
So green eyes green eyes, Roxanne, is kind of like the digestive system of a certain area. Will let you never determine if they have like green eyes or yellow eyes. That's one of the leading theories on it. I really don't think that it has anything to be malicious or evil. I just think it's pretty much consistent with their diet. I can't tell you for sure. That's kind of where I'm at, because I know that's what happens with a lot of things in nature is their diet will determine not only how they look, but how they taste as well. So that kind of makes sense. Just not 100% sure.
Well, with the eye color, though, the Wendigo actually isn't said to have the red eyes. It's said to have the yellowish eyes. So that's really interesting when you think about it, because that, red is the normal evil color, whereas Wendigo is said to have the sickly yellow eyes.
Yes, Corey, and that's not just with Native Americans. That's with a lot of cultures around the world dealing with any kind of supernatural entity. Fasting is a way to build strength and power and purity. And that's why you'll, even like when you do an exorcism, you're supposed to fast 7 or 10 days prior to an exorcism to help cleanse your body, to make sure there ain't no impurities in it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's too lazy to even react.
He is.
Rat poison in a Snickers bar for Dogman. I personally have nothing against them. There's too many instances where they're actually very good. They're just guardians. They're guardians of sacred areas. But you do have some, just like a lot of other things, it's that they got a piss poor mentality to them, and they're straight butts.
Well,
I wish I knew the eyes I saw were yellowish or orange.
If I was some kind of animal, I would probably react the same way to humans, man. If you're outside, you're seeing, hunters kill deer and everything else. If I were an animal, I'm going to assume you're out to kill me too, and I'm going to be a jerk too.
Yeah. Oh, uncut. You're doing again. No worries. When you see yellow caution, just being silly. I've never had any bad experiences with anything with yellow and green eyes. Not to say it won't happen. I mean, I have very peaceful or livings with the guest here. But I'm also not dumb enough to say that won't ever happen. Something negative won't ever happen, because that's very well possible. You can have one that's had a bad day, or I could have done something wrong to piss it off. I mean, all that is in that variable, and I put that. I'm very. I mean, you guys have seen how I've got videos that shows you how I practice land management, not just for me, but for the elementals, the supernatural, paranormal, and the cryptid side that is all resides on here. And I can mess up one day, and even though I do a lot of great stuff, cause something very bad to happen as well.
Yep.
I just dropped a video yesterday. I've got another one I'm trying to get downloaded. And this is actually an encounter of a guy that was kidnapped by Sasquatch, and they were trying to force him to mate with his daughter. ADA. So that will be dropping as soon as I can get it downloaded sometime this week. But I did just drop a video of an encounter that happened in 1935. So that's, I'm going to be looking up those, because what I do is I get on the Library of Congress and I look up old news articles. And so one of the next ones I'm doing, as soon as I'm done with Bigfoot and Giants, is the Big W. I'm going to try to pull up as many news articles as I can on that, and I'm going to start doing videos on that stuff. So the first line of my videos I just dropped was dropped last night. Hey,
what's
Larry,
up,
how's it going?
What's up, Larry?
But
you want an interesting story, Eric? If you want an interesting Wendigo story, you have to look into Jack Fiddler and his sons. They were the Wendigo killers. They killed over.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. I actually had that. I actually had that that story, and I thought I put it on my external hard drive. I cannot find it on my computer or my external, so I don't know if I didn't save it right or what. I don't know. I'm missing a lot of files that I should have that I no longer have. And it's aggravating the crap out of me, so I've got to go back there and re-find all this stuff.
Yes.
I remember hearing about that. I think you and DA talked about it one time. That's what got me interested on it, if I remember correctly.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, there is so many. Like I'm a kind of firm believer that the Big W had a lot to do with oh my God, that pass during the Oregon Trail times. Dante's Pass, not Dante's Pass. Is it Dante's Pass?
The
one over the western part of the U.S.
It's possible.
I think it's Dante's Pass, wasn't where a lot of them pioneers had gotten killed?
It could be. It's possible, yeah. Roxanne, you can find the story in a book, though. You can find the Jack Fiddler story in books. Yeah.
Tim, that name's Timothy Hogan sounds familiar. I can't 100% say that I have, but I need to remember that name, Timothy Hogan. I didn't even get my Donner's Pass. Thank you, DA. Yes, I knew it started with a D. Donner's Pass. I believe that has a lot to do with that as well. Yes,
It's possible.
There's just a lot of stuff leads that's a good possibility. I need to do more research onto that. DA's done a lot of research on that.
I think it depends, though, because like
really
the Wendigo transformation, it's not instantaneous. You know, I mean, people got to look back at Swift Runner's story. With Swift Runner, it was a very slow process, okay? And people just kind of scratch the surface of Swift Runner's story and ignore the rest. But when you really look into the stuff about his background, he was having nightmares about the Wendigo. He was seeing Pawaganok, and Pawaganok for the Algonquins and the Cree, those are the dream spirits. They come to you and they'll either advise you, they'll give you wisdom, or in his case, it was tormenting him. It was something that was, slowly chiseling away at his sanity. So he was actually having nightmares of the Wendigo for a very, very long time before he killed his family. So look into that story too. You'll see that there was a lot.
That's what I'm kind of getting at on that one there, Ashley, is because of this. Oh yeah, sorry, bud. Go ahead.
So, but with the Wendigo though, like in Swift Runner's case,
that's what I'm.
You want to finish what you're going to say, or? Yeah, they do that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We got delayed. I guess we got a little bit of delay here.
Yeah, we do.
That's why I was kind of leaning towards that case there, because of the situations are right for that to happen. That's why I want to learn more about it. But yeah, so sorry about that, Ryan. I didn't realize we was having a delay there, bud.
But with Swift Runner, though, the circumstances were more prime, okay, because food was getting scarce. It wasn't a rarity, but it was getting harder to find. Plus, if you look at his background, you get two different stories. Some people will say that he was a very kind and gentle man. He was a loving father. Other people will tell you he was sometimes kind, but he could be a real aggressive person. And the Wendigo, according to the lore, seems to kind of focus in on certain people. And I believe that, aggressive people, they have weak spirits. They have weak souls. That's why they're so mean. And I think if he was aggressive, then maybe that's why the Wendigo kind of chose him. Like, oh, well, he's kind of the jerk here. He's already attacking his own people. So I'm going to focus all my efforts on this man right here. And I got to wonder if that's got something to do with it.
Could be. Corey wants to know, says Wendigos eat their own lips off, right? From what I understand, it's either rips or tears them off. Yeah.
Yeah, they eat them off is what they do. They peel them off and they eat them.
Yep. That may be why I've heard both stories, ripping and eating, is because that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, low vibrations, man. That's why William and I always talk about keeping your vibration up.
Right, exactly.
Low vibrations allow for easy access of demonic entities.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's where that sounds familiar. That's where I knew that name sounded familiar, Tim. Yeah. I've seen one of his videos. But yeah, so I mean, and so it's curious on how this stuff comes about, because there's so many stories about it happening. I mean, I that's right. I was going to look at my files there, see if I can find them ones, but because I had like 3 or 4 files of encounters when I did this last time. Excuse me, I kind of burped a little. Apologize.
That's fine.
I had a fat guy snack before I ate. I took and baked some tater tots and put some walking. I put some pepper jack cheese and some cheddar jalapeno kibosses and some Parmesan cheese on top of it and baked it. Oh, it was good. Made a fat guy happy.
I'm going to the store after the show is done.
I was having a lazy day because, man, I've been busy as hell. The other night I had something heavy walking on my porch, which my porch had broke the other day, and I was knowing dude, it is gone. My Wendigo files are gone.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so I can't pull them up. So I had something heavy walk on my porch the other day, and I heard a crash and a bang. And I come out, my porch had been destroyed a lot more. So I spent a good part of the day trying to fix that stuff up yesterday.
Oh boy.
Spooky. So then today I was fixing other stuff. I had to fix a flat tire and stuff like that, plus go to town, plus do a bunch of cleaning and stuff. So I was like, man, I'm looking for a quick, easy meal today. So I was like, man, pop this in the oven.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. It made a fat guy happy. I can tell you that right there. That definitely fat guy happy. Now I can't do guacamole walking.
Yeah, no, guacamole.
I can't do guacamole. No, that's the devil's baby food. No, I can't do that. Is that poo? Is that real wheelie poo? I can't do that.
Guacamole is no.
I'm still trying to find the furthest reaches, boundaries of encounters of the Big W, as far as like how far west it goes. Like I said, I know St. Joe, St. Louis area. There's the prominent ones here in Missouri. I know there's encounters down there at the very bottom of Missouri, right at the border. I know there's encounters in Colorado. Have you found any that's even went past Colorado?
Well, no, I haven't. But what's really interesting to look at, though, is you have to look at these encounters and see why people consider them a Wendigo. Because for the Wendigo to come into existence, it needs to possess somebody. And for that possession to happen, those taboos have to be broken. So, I mean, do all these states have all these cannibals running around and we just don't know about it? Or, what's the deal? Or are they mistaking it for something else? Are they seeing the pale crawlers and saying, oh, I saw a pale crawler, thus it's a Wendigo? Because I don't think that they're actually seeing the real Wendigo. The Wendigo is not a cryptid. It's an entity, okay? So it's going to present itself when it's possessed somebody. It's not going to be showing up in large numbers like we have. Like, how many would you say for Dogman reports that we get per week? There's so many Dogman reports. Yeah, I don't think the Wendigo reports are going to be that high in number. I really, really don't. I think only under certain conditions. So.
Right. And that's because you got to think they're a demon of frost or of cold. Their hearts are made of ice. The way to kill one is you have to actually destroy the icy heart. And they tell you got to either crush it or stab it with a knife of pure silver mixed with white ash. And then you got to burn the bodies and burn the heart in order to destroy it. And even then they say that is not guaranteed to kill it.
Right.
So, I mean, you got to play that in. Like in my book that I'm writing now, it's the dark cloud that came from the cave that was reopened after he was destroyed in the first one, consumed a body. So it never died, even though it was burnt, even though it was beheaded, it was burnt. The essence still remained, and once that cave was unsealed, it took hold of another body. And I went that route because that seems to be a very common report when it comes to this transferring bodies.
Yep. And to answer Roxanne's question, it's weird, Roxanne. The people that become Wendigo kind of know. With Swift Runner, in Swift Runner's case, when they actually detained him and he was put in a jail at Fort Saskatchewan, he was telling people the reason why he killed his family was because he was Wendigo. So he didn't feel it physically, but he felt it mentally and emotionally. So there was something going on where he knew, he was screwed up and he was becoming a Wendigo. Yeah.
It would be scary, be a scary game to encounter them. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, hard to see in the dark. I mean, they're known for cloaking.
Boondock, don't do that, man. I'm going to start quoting Yoda. I'll start talking like Yoda. Don't you do it to me, man.
Dark might come to you, Roman.
Yep.
Strong and of course you are.
Sides.
Much hate and anger, I feel it. Yeah, I love Yoda, dude.
Boondock did
Yoda's
it. It's your fault, Boondock. It's all your fault, man. We blame you.
Leave it to Corey, dude. Leave it to Corey to start the Yoda stuff, dude. I'm a Star Wars nerd.
So am I.
Oh God, I agree. I remember being a kid in the '80s when Star Wars was coming to theaters, and lines were 4 blocks long just to go in and see it. I remember when R2D2 and CP3O would be at the malls and the movie theaters and interacting with the customers. I love that stuff.
Yep, me too.
Do the Big W have any body hair or no? They don't, as far as I've heard.
Some cases they do. Some cases they go bald on the head, but they grow body hair along their backs, along their chests, and along their legs and arms. But not typically do they have long hair, though. Not long hair.
Yeah, so I've never heard of that, so I wasn't for sure. And I see why, because they took hold of the human body, and the human body would have hair on it, so
yeah,
that actually makes sense a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Now that story I've heard of. Is that the story on the video about the Big W psychosis?
Yep.
Yeah,
sure
there's plenty of stuff, which makes me wonder if that actually a mental disorder, or is that actually truly transpiring? It's hard to say.
Either way, if it's a psychosis, there you go. The Wendigo's a thing because there's like a psychosis for it, So I don't think it's just a psychosis. I think there's a lot more to it, and I don't think we'll know all the answers ever. I think we'll always wonder. But no, I absolutely do think there is something to it.
Yeah, I believe so too. I really do. And I've heard plenty of people talk about it. I've heard DA talk about it. I've heard you talk about it. I've heard other people talk about it. And the more I hear it, the more I come to the same conclusion as you. Is I think it's a real thing.
Absolutely.
So, now, that is not to say I'm going to play devil's advocate here, because I have to, because I'm not going to ever say something was 100% sure what it is. There is always that very small possibility somebody claiming that to try to get out of trouble.
That's true too. That's very true. Yeah.
So I would say majority of the cases probably are, but I guarantee you there's some that, hey, I'm going to say this so I can get 3 hots in the cot and I'd be high every day of my life, and I get away with it and I don't fry.
Well, I'd rather believe in it than just have a Wendigo walk up to me one day and be like, "Hello there." I'd be terrified of that. So, damn it! Just
pardon me, sir. Do you have any gray coupon?
Right? We just quoted Star Wars again with Obi-Wan. Way to go, dude! See what you did?
Just me by the size you do. Small I may be, powerful I am. Oh crap, Corey! Hold on. Come here.
He did that on purpose.
Jealous little turd. There he is. I love the shit out of that guy. Corey's my dude.
Aww.
So I'm going to be redoing Corey's videos. I'm going to be redoing Rachel's and Juno's videos, because I've learned how to edit stuff now where I can add music to it and make it sound a little bit
nice.
But we're going to have 6 lines. You know that you have to be on that side right there. Like the person who attacked a man on a train, on the bus, yeah, he attacked a person on the bus and consumed quite a bit of him before the police got to him. Yeah,
actually, uncut, Wendigo in the comic books wasn't a white-haired Sasquatch, just like the actual stories. It was a guy that transformed into the Wendigo after he ate somebody, and that took place in Canada. That's where Hulk and Wolverine first fought, was in Canada.
Oh yeah, Wolverine was one of the few guys who can give Hulk a run for his money.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Sabretooth was the only one to defeat Wendigo. So, haha.
What you got to think? Wolverine and Sabretooth are brothers. That's why they fought tooth and nails against each other all the time, because of jealousy. And Sabretooth was a bad SOB. That dude lived up to his name.
Yeah. Well, Sabretooth also killed Silver Fox. That was the big thing for Wolverine. He killed his fiance on his birthday. So,
just to get back with him. Jealousy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Jealousy was a big thing. Because Wolverine was always so much better than Sabretooth, and it pissed him off. He was always jealous.
Yep.
Which is the green-eyed monster. So there's your green eye stuff right there, Roxanne. The green-eyed monster jealousy.
Yep.
In fact, the person that attacked a person on the street in public, there's a video out there showing the attack. He was eating eating the person's face in front of others. Actually, I think I've heard of that. Yeah,
Wasn't that in Florida though? That was a homeless guy that did that.
I was trying to
I
remember if
think
that was Florida or New York. I was thinking New York, but it could have been Florida.
I think it was
I
Florida.
remember
Yeah,
hearing about that.
they ended up shooting the guy, I think, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he came after them wanting to eat them. In fact, I believe that video was labeled "real life zombie."
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, that is what that video was labeled as, was real life zombie.
Yep.
Yes, Florida. Yeah.
Yep. Thought so. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah. It's that very can't deny the possibility of that being a big W influencer.
Well, that guy
Very
was on
possible.
drugs though. That was a drug influence thing. So
Oh, that's right. He was on bath salts, wasn't he?
yeah, I don't think the Wendigo would work that way. I think the Wendigo likes to find the angry, clear-minded people that are, they're getting desperate, and it likes to corrupt them slowly but surely, and toy with them and let them know, hey, I'm gonna be taking you over pretty soon, so get ready.
So you don't think, even though the drugs would weaken the mind and the body, they wouldn't do it because of that impurities?
No, I think that there would have been some kind of indication. I mean, there would have been some kind of marking somewhere, because with all the cases of Wendigo, they know, like Swift Runner, like I was telling you, Swift Runner was telling people, I'm Wendigo, so I think the person that was doing this, he would have told people too. Mm-hmm. I do.
I can see that. Yeah. I've often wondered that because, the drugs do weaken the mind, the body, and the soul. So I've often wondered, I know a lot of demon cases that's come about was because of people who use drugs. It was easy access for them. They didn't get fought near as hard because they weren't in the right state of mind.
I think the Wendigo prefers the victim. Yeah. The Wendigo kind of likes a little fight, I think. I think it likes to really scare its person, so it wants a strong mind, not a weak mind.
Likes to toy with his food.
Mm-hmm.
His mama never taught him not to play with his food. It's like a cat.
Yeah,
a cat likes to play with the food.
Yeah, it's batting you around a little bit before it possesses you.
Yeah, and torments you. Scrapes the side of your house and tries to open the door and calls out to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
gives you nightmares.
Like that's
that's one of the most terrifying aspects of a Wendigo is it gives you nightmares. When you get visited by the Puaganok, it'd be a porcupine or even an owl. The tribes knew what these things meant in their dreams. So, when they're seeing these things in their dreams, they got terrified. This was something that if they saw a porcupine or a certain kind of owl, they would freak out because they knew, oh my God, that's representatives of the Wendigo.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome, DA. Yeah, I'll definitely hop on there after that. Everybody in the chat, DA's doing his very first Camp Tales tonight at 8:00 after our show's done here. Make sure you go over to YouTube at DAX Machina and give him a like, subscribe, and follow. Let him know I said hi. DA's a hell of an author, hell of a reporter, hell of an investigator. So I look forward to him talking about his books. I've been waiting for him to do some of his books and his own deal. So that's cool. That's cool, DA. But yeah, I'll be definitely catching that tonight, bro. Mm-hmm. I know more about it. Alpha Flight and had Sasquatch as a hero, which was Yep. Corey says, I seen a guy bite a guy's nose off, and I seen a guy bite another guy's lips off. Both incidents happened in a parking lot of a bar.
Remind me never go to the bar with you, dude. What kind of bars are you going to?
No kidding, dude. I mean, most we ever did was got in a hell of a fist fight and came back bloody and bruised and drank beer together after we were done. I don't need to be. I mean, I'm not opposed to trying long pork, but I'm really not at that stage where I want to try long pork right now.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Now I know more about the Hulk and Wolverine and Wendigo. Yeah,
There you go.
There's actually wasn't there like 3 comic books altogether dealing with the Big W and Hulk and Wolverine and Sabretooth, if I remember correctly?
Oh, there's more than that. I mean, the Wendigo itself, Marvel started its own series called Curse of the Wendigo.
I did not know that one. I've never seen that one. Oh,
it's pretty good. I don't like that there's like numerous Wendigo in there. They should have 1 or 2 and that's it, but they have like a whole tribe of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Wendigo Wood. Wendigo Wood is a really good comic book too.
Amazon, I must go find comics.
It's a little dark though. It's a little dark. So if you got kids around that are going to pick up your comic books, don't leave them around. That's not proper material for kids.
9. Stopa. 9. It's just the goats. Sorry, he started growling at the goats.
And my dog still didn't react.
He's very, very protective over me. He knows what them are.
Good dogs, man.
Heck yeah. So he said that was done in Southwest Oklahoma back in the 90s.
Now I know where not to go.
Wintertime or something. Yeah. Casper the Friendly Ghost, heck yeah. Oh man, I need to turn my. I forgot to do that. I came in, I got too caught up on the game and forgot to get set up all the way tonight.
Oops.
There we go. I love how that purple shines on my backdrop.
That looks good. That looks very good.
Ashley says, "Hey, don't tell me how to raise my kids." She getting on to you tonight, Ryan.
Yeah, she is. She's after me hardcore.
Hey, Uncut, try rebooting and see if that don't help if you're not catching the other comments. Yeah.
There you go.
I have to look them up though. I didn't know that. I knew about 3 or 4 comic books where Wolverine, Sabretooth, and Hulk had issues with them.
In fact,
I've forgotten about that. I mean,
I got one I can show you. Hang on. Let me grab something real quick. I got something to show you.
Hey, Twisted. Oh, dude, anytime, man. Anytime. We were actually just talking about you a little bit ago about how we're wanting to go up to Moon Valley and check out the Dallas County Cannibals and see if they have any ties to the Big W or not.
Here we go.
Oh, wow.
There's a Wendigo comic book.
Yeah. That goes off that one dude's story then, based off of that.
Yeah. This was actually sent to me by Lyle Blackburn. He actually bought this and sent it to me.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. So there's a Wendigo comic book.
Heck yeah. One of my favorite ones, this ain't Wendigo related, because I love comics.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of my favorite ones right here. And it is the
Nightfall
edition. Yes. That is I've got a bunch of them, but my second ex-wife, I used to have 3 army totes full of comic books.
Oh, wow.
And then whenever I was over in Iraq the last time, she didn't plan on me coming back and got rid of all my stuff. I'm like, dude, I had a lot of very nice comics, dude, with Spawn and Superman and Batman, because I mean, those were the ones I loved. Wolverine,
did you ever see the Joker that I made? I got a Joker that I made. Hang on, I can grab him too.
Hell yeah. I never got into the Archies, but the more I hear you talk about that, Roxanne, I'm going to have to relook at the Archies.
Here we go. Here's the Joker that I made.
Oh, hell yeah.
I got to fix his sleeve. He got chipped on the sleeve, but that's the Joker that I made. There's his face.
That's the best Joker there's been by far. Now, don't get me wrong. When Robin transformed into Joker after the Phantom had killed the original Joker, he was good as Joker, but the original Joker, hands down, was the best.
Yep, I agree.
No worries, Twisted. No worries. Yeah, but yeah, no, dude. I mean, I would love to see a Batman versus a Big W. That'd be
awesome, man.
Dude, how would he handle that? I mean,
he's Batman. He would find a way, dude. He'd be at his computer looking everything up.
I'm Batman. I can take out anything. I got a lot of money and a lot of toys because I'm Batman. Batman's my favorite. I mean,
mine too.
Dude, Batman and Wolverine. Batman and Wolverine are my tops.
Yep.
Caesar Romero, come on. Archie was way too scary for Gary. I never could catch Archie, man. Archie was just bored the hell out of me when I was younger. I never could get into Archie. Now I hear all you guys talk about this stuff that he faced in the Big W and stuff like that. Right. I was like, I don't remember that, but then again, I never read it. So,
yep.
Now I'm going to get back into reading it again. You know, dude, it's like really hot in Europe. It's just got to be snuggled up close to keeping me in your body heat. I need to give you a haircut. You need a haircut. Well, you do. Caesar Romero played Joker and Batman.
Yep. Wouldn't shave his mustache. Yeah. Yep.
Always
shave his mustache. You'd always see it.
Yeah. I always told people, man, if you took Jack Nicholson's look with Heath Slater who played Joker too, and his mentality, you would have the perfect Joker. This new Jokers they got now, I'm sorry, dude. No,
I don't know.
These new gangster Jokers, I can't.
I don't know, man. If you ever saw Gotham, Jerome Valesco was a very, very good proto Joker.
I haven't watched Gotham yet.
Dude, he was really, really good. They couldn't use the Joker name, so they couldn't give him the white face or the green hair. But for a guy like that, he played the role, dude. He was good.
Heath Ledger had the absolute best persona of Joker. Not so much the look, but the persona of Joker, hands down, Heath Ledger. The look of Joker, Jack Nicholson. If you combine them two, you combine Jack Nicholson's look with Heath Ledger's attitude, you had the Joker. Which put a smile on the face.
Yep.
There you go. Good to hear, Uncut. I'm glad to hear that, buddy.
Wow. Could you imagine Jack Nicholson saying some of Heath Ledger's lines, though? Want to know how I got these scars?
Yeah. Dude. But, I mean, hands down, mentality-wise, Heath Ledger, by far, the closest anyone's ever got to Joker, mentality-wise.
Yeah.
Do you know why I use diesel fuel bombs? Not because it's cheap, because it does the most damage. Danny DeVito did a really good Penguin, yes. I'll give you that.
Yep. He wasn't comic book accurate, but he was still a really good Penguin.
He was. But no, that'd be cool to see. Have a Batman comic of him fighting a Big W.
I'd be all about it.
So
DC needs to make it happen.
Dude, I would be. Yeah, we need to write them. I need to write them.
Yeah, of course. He fought a werewolf. I mean, Batman's fought werewolves before, so
dude, yeah.
Why not?
You got to think. I mean, Bane was probably hands down the worst enemy he's ever had. Bane jacked him up.
Yep.
Bane did. Bane. I mean, Joker's messed with him mentally. Bane jacked his ass up.
Yeah, he broke him.
Bane
broke the bat.
Yeah. Dude, that's why I like that one. When I seen that one, I had to buy it because I was like, that is truly the lowest that Batman had ever went to win a fight.
Oh, yeah.
There? Hey, Don, how's it going?
Don?
Hey, he still does Twisted, but that's okay. I ain't going to fault him for that. We know it's his phone. I can't fault him on that at all. Oops, crap. Harris would make a good Two-Face.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. So, you were saying beef fat and set out is a good way to guard against them. What's some other good things besides the pure silver and white ash?
Well, you'd have to get some sage. If you can sage your house and your property line, that's also a good defense. And another one would probably be a blessing from William. If you could get William Nighthawk to do some blessings for you, that would be very, very beneficial and powerful for you. So, That's what I would do.
I've often wondered. I know in paranormal, supernatural world, more
Mhm.
so than paranormal, just because it depends on what supernatural entity is, how strong they are. But I know if
Right.
you put wrought iron in the four corners of your home and four corners of your property, and you make barriers around your home and around your property with salt, that'll keep
Could work.
supernatural or that'll keep paranormal and most supernatural entity out. I've
That
never
could work.
found anything suggesting that would work on the big W, but I was wondering what your thoughts on that would be.
I would try it. I think if you really have any fear of anything showing up like that, I would definitely give it a whirl, and what's the worst that could happen? I mean, at least you got that barrier set up just in case.
Mm-hmm. No, I've had this one for about 3 or 4 years, Don. I just wore it today because the game was on. Sage grows wild here everywhere. Yeah, I love sage. I need to get some. I got cedar. I need to get some sage, and I need to get some sweetgrass
There you go.
because create a good smudging. And all I have is cedar right now, and I can't
Mhm.
find my smudge bundle. So I think my daughter may have used it up in her infinite wisdom trying to learn this stuff. And so, anyways, anytime my youngest daughter gets hold something, it mysteriously vanishes like a fart in the wind. Now I got to get a new smudge bundle. Salt works. I wasn't sure because I was wondering because I knew that it worked on a lot of it worked mainly on paranormal, but I know depends on how strong and powerful the supernatural entity was, depending on if it worked alone. Usually on supernatural entities when they're strong, now you have to cleanse your home first, and then you do that ritual, and then you also got to continually do it at a certain routine
Yep.
for very strong supernatural entities.
Right. It's worth a shot, though. I mean, you never know unless you try.
Yeah. I've heard of smudge and lavender. I've not tried it myself, twisted. I've always used what I was talking about a little bit ago, sage with cedar and sweetgrass.
Smart idea.
But I can see where lavender works. I mean, it's a positive entity, so I mean, I can see how it could work. I've just never used it.
Sunflower, too. Sunflower is actually considered positive by some of the tribes. It gives you strength and courage.
I think I've heard of that before. Yeah, I know I like to eat it. It does smell good. I love to smell lavender, especially when I'm needing to calm, bring my energy
Yes.
down. Like if I'm around people too much, especially negative people, because of my past and how I was, negativity attaches to me way too easy.
Mhm.
So I've got to do things to bring that down. And that's why I'll be like a little hermit for a while because I got to get away from that negativity out here where my property is. This is my centering point. This is what brings my energy back to balance. Basically, in other words, recenters myself. Here in Pineville, Missouri, is the two strongest places I've been in this world. That it's easiest for me to recenter my place. So if I'm around a lot of people, that happens. And lavender is very good for help me bring that energy back down. I like tequila.
That would work, too.
Twisted said we have dogman and werewolf here in Canada River. Now they're all over. I mean, right now there's so many encounters of dogman jumping the Mexican border and attacking illegals trying to come across. There's so many reports coming out of that happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, tequila to me don't get along though. I don't do tequila.
No.
I don't do tequila. I have very, very, very bad reactions when I drink tequila. So, yeah, but they're all over. So I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. You're having reports up there in them. But if you're along the Canadian River, I'm trying to remember where you're at, Twisted. You're in Texas, ain't you? Or Oklahoma, Texas. You're in Texas, ain't you? I don't know if they have any Big W encounters. I don't remember seeing any Big W because it's too hot down there for them.
Yeah, it's way too hot for them.
Yeah. Brewers protect. They are my friends. They could be. I mean, werewolves are made from from magic, and they keep a lot of their humanity to them. That's why if you study a lot of reports that's supposedly coming out from whistleblowers in the military that are using these things as weapons against against their enemies, they'll tell you that werewolves are more controllable than dogmen because werewolf still contains a lot of humanity, where dogman is more beast.
I guess Duke wants some
Amarillo,
attention.
Texas. That's what I was thinking. Hi, Duke. And Amazon has it all nowadays. Yeah.
Boondock, I'm actually not very close to Texas at all. I'm in Arizona. Southern Arizona.
Yeah, I remember the first time I've been to Arizona. I mean, it was back in the '80s. I was knee high to a grasshopper's ass back then. I thought it was cool as hell. It's Christmas, and I'm swimming in the pool.
Yeah, it's a nice place, dude. Arizona's nice, but it's hotter than Hades sometimes.
Oof. No, I mean, I was down in Phoenix, Arizona when I was there back in the I think it was mid '80s when I was there. I was down around Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
So, Roxanne says, "Why will they melt?" Yeah, I mean, you got to think, Roxanne. They're entities of cold.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do well heat. That's why fire is known to kill them or destroy them. Is used by fire. So that would be why the heat of Texas wouldn't work on them.
Yep.
Now I wonder, northern part of Arizona gets cold. Does it get cold enough for them to get there?
No, because it doesn't get super, super, super cold here. We'll get snow once in a blue moon, but no, not cold enough.
Yeah, I was wondering. I just thought about that because I know the northern part up in the mountains to actually get snow in the tops.
Mm-hmm.
Can't prove it, but I swear one protected me one night from mountain lion when I was gauging my dad's oil tanks. That could have been. I mean, it really could have been. I mean, I'm assuming you're still talking about the dogman. Yeah, werewolves. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Roxanne says she lived in Arizona at Lake Air Force Base. Loved it down there.
Nice.
Yeah. I had an aunt that actually lived out in Phoenix, aunt and uncle, and we was out visiting for one Christmas, and that was mid '80s. Yeah, and I remember her telling me, "You don't go around the cactuses because they could fall over on top of you and crush you."
Yeah, we have jumping cactus out here, so
yeah, cactus is good for a good source of food and water, though. It really is.
Yep.
It's a really good source for that. Good survival thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're ever in the desert trying to survive, the best thing you can find is cactus.
Prickly pear.
It's got nutrients, food, and then water, plenty of it.
Yep.
It's like a big melon. It's like a melon that bites you.
Pretty much, yeah.
Basically what it is.
Yeah.
So, deadly frogs, Ryan.
Yeah, we got those too. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, there was something else I was wanting to ask, and I forgot what it was. I've been trying to remember this whole time, but I get sidetracked on the comment. So, judging by the description of what I had at me last winter, what do you think was probably dealing with me? Because I still don't know what was after me last winter.
If I had to make a call, I would say it's a mimic, bro. I would say that you encountered a mimic. Those are actually something that I think a lot of people are running into, and they assume it's a Wendigo because it's it's cold when they see it. They sometimes don't see it; they just hear it. So I think it could be a mimic that you had around there.
That's one of the things. That was one of my first things I thought it was a mimic because of how it was acting. But I also know that the big W is invisible. It can cloak. They can turn invisible. I also know they can move wicked fast. Wicked fast.
It didn't attack you though. So Wendigo, when they present themselves, it's to attack. Yeah. So
yeah. And that's what confused me. I mean, I know it had me on edge. I mean, I knew it was hunting me. I knew it was jacking with me.
Right.
And it was the only time I've ever had fear on my property. I've lived out here 32 years. And even with the stuff I've dealt with out here, I've never had something like this. And it happened right after I did a show about this.
So you could be a mimic, though, because it would know that you were afraid of the Wendigo or whatever. So it's mimicking what the Wendigo did to get you all worked up and scared and feeling disturbed. That's what mimics do.
That makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of
Mhm.
sense because my guests they'll walk on my porch. I'll hear them walking on my porch at night sometimes.
Right.
I think actually that's probably what broke my porch the other night was one. They've been coming up and I've had them tap on my window right here next to my computer, and I'll be like, "What the hell?" Because I usually keep it dark in here, just
Right.
enough light where I can see my keyboard, And I'll have them tap on my damn window. I've had them watch me through my living room window. I'm watching TV,
Wow.
which is
Very cool.
yeah. That it's I've had nothing but good experiences, but that's why I've always tried to mimic or figure out what would happen, and actually that's why the video I did on it is called Mimic because that was my very first guess on what it was,
There
and
you
when I
go.
was
Good
telling other
guess.
people like, well, did you ever consider this because you talked about this quite a bit, you said
Hmm.
this name quite a bit, and the time of year, have you ever thought about this? Is like I did not think about that.
Mm. Well, like I said, though, I mean, when you talk about it, it's all in how you're doing it. It's just because you're saying the name doesn't mean it's going to come to you. It's how you're talking about it, if you're revering it or if you're challenging it. That's what you don't want to do is try to challenge it.
Yeah, that's my bad problem. Is anything that tries to mess me on my property, I get the old marine in me comes out pretty quick. Hey, it's my place.
Try to keep that hush
Roxanne wants
hush
to
when it
know.
comes to those things.
Roxanne wants to know: does mimics have a form to it?
No, they're more like shadow entities. You don't really see their original form. They go around in shadows and they hide behind things and they mimic sounds and different noises and voices that you would hear, or they take on the presence of whatever you're afraid of in order to actually scare you.
Hmm. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Drag his breath to give it a bad day. Um, Richard wants to know what is a jumping cactus.
It's a cactus is about yay big. Okay, they don't literally jump, but when you get too close to them, they because of your body heat, they'll fall off the branches. They'll kind of be flung off the branches, and they'll stick to your legs or your skin or whatever, and they hurt so damn bad. They're small. They're only about this big though. They're each one's like that big, but when they cling to you in a group, oh man, you're pulling cactuses out of your hands. They do not feel good at
Oh
all.
god.
Hmm.
Be like them old western stories where they fall off a horse into a cactus and they get nothing but cacti or spines in their butt cheeks.
Oh yeah, then you got the tiny little, you got the tiny little spines that you're pulling out with the tweezers. You're pulling them out of your hand. Just ow, ow. I've done that plenty of times.
That is my TV. I didn't shut my TV off. That is the bass you're hearing. Calm yourself down
Oh,
there, young butt. He started getting because bass is going off in the background. So my surround sound's still on. So he's
mm-hmm.
getting ready to start barking at it.
Oh, look at them cuddle
I'm
though.
just sitting here thinking if wildfire would demolish a big W.
I suppose it could if the Wendigo was dumb enough to just stand there. I mean, they're probably going to run. I would think they know their weakness,
Yeah,
so I
that's
think
what
if
I
they
thought
saw
too.
wildfire,
She was AKA Dragon's Fire.
yeah.
Well, in my book that I'm working on right now, I created a thing. It's basically Dragon's Fire is what I call it, and it's a combination of um, um, oh my gosh, I just brain farted. Anyways, it's almost like a liquid that sticks to you and continues to burn. So it's a lot like Greek's fire mixed with
Whoa.
uh, white phosphorus,
Oh wow.
kinda like, and that's what they have a basically they call it a tube, but it's basically like a gun, and it holds this liquid inside of it, and it shoots out a spot that sticks to him when they knock him down and continually burns. And no matter so it acts just like white phosphorus. No
Okay.
matter if you roll around or what, it continually burns. But also acts like Greek's fire because it's a liquid form that it could even float on water. So
Wow.
that's why I kind of came up with that idea as an invention that the dwarf Alfred made in Valhalla Island to combat things like the Big W.
There you go. Smart. Very smart.
We have some like that, but we call them porcupine eggs. Oh, you're talking about that jumping cactus, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
You've been brain farting a lot. I have been. I don't know what it's like. My energy is like completely zapped, and I've been brain farting a lot. But yeah, it's basically like a white phosphorus and Greek fire mixed together, and this is not nothing real. This is straight out of my head. So this is the fiction part of my books. It's straight out of my head. It's like, what would be the absolute worst way, most devastating fire that you could create? And I'm like, white phosphorus and Greek fire mixed together. Not only does it stick, but it floats on water and still burns, and you can't put it out.
Well, somewhere Anakin Skywalker is cringing, going, "No."
I probably need to twist. Oh, I know. Give it up, Anakin. I have the high ground. I hate you. I probably need to fast. I really do, Twisted. I'm not going to lie to you. I probably do. I've actually been mostly fasting for about 3 or 4 days now. I've only been eating like a couple strips of bacon a day.
That's it?
Because I'm trying to get a little bit out of my body. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Trying to get a little bit of stuff out of my body.
Well, okay.
Damn cactus, the 8 toes needles. Oh, dude, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of been mostly my diet for the last 3 or 4 days has mainly just been about 6 strips of bacon, just enough because I'm hypoglycemic, so I can't go without food.
Right.
So I have to eat something. So I've been keeping it to the bare minimum, which the bare minimum is 6 to 8 strips of bacon.
Hey, man, bacon's bacon, dude.
Dude, bacon is life.
Yes.
Bacon is life.
I agree.
I probably need to twist it. I probably do. Actually, today is the first real meal I've had in a while. Just because I've been trying to clean my body out some. And trust me, it's worked. It's worked. So, yeah. KC won. Poor Woo's sitting in the chat room crying because, his Raiders lost. Or not his Raiders. Bengals lost. Well, Raiders won today, so, I give them credit. But, yeah, Woo's a little sad because, KC won today.
Oh, wow.
I actually feel a lot better now since I ate a real meal, so you're probably hitting the nail on the head, Twisted. That's kind of why I went with the choice of eating an actual meal today. It's because I've noticed that, my blood sugars were starting to finally catch up to me. I'm only living off of, 6 to 8 strips of bacon. I'm a carnivore, though, dude. I love it's meat. I got to have meat with every meal. Buddy, I've got to sit down for a little.
You're a meaty sore, huh?
I'm a metasaur, dude. I'm a carnivore.
I hear you.
Oh, whatever, Gary. Whatever, Gary. Refs didn't win the game today. They almost did last week with that no-call blatant off out-of-bounds hit on Mahomes. That was BS. But I'm, it's hypoglycemia. So I never knew I was hypoglycemic. Actually, I'd never known. I've had them test me for diabetes for years in the military because I was like, I'm having real bad reactions with sugars. Hence why I don't drink a whole lot of sweet tea.
Right.
Most I'll do is like natural honey in my tea. Then when I want something sweet in my tea.
Okay.
So one day when I just got hired full time at my job, I was in the back of the striper truck painting the fog line. The fog line is the white line you see along the road. It's called a fog line. That way you can see the edge of the road at night. That's why it's white. It's called a fog line. Also known as edge line. And every time I went to go left, I would go right. Every time I tried to go right, I was going left. And I got to feeling really funny. I was like, okay, I always knew when I started feeling funny, I need to eat something. So what I did was I ate 6 Oreos. I was like, I'm about to eat lunch here in 30 minutes. I'll pop these 6 Oreos in. Ought to get me by until lunch. No, it jacked me bad. Actually, I was so close to going into a coma. I probably did because I remember most of the ride to the hospital. I remember getting in the gurney, and to me, I just got in the gurney and was getting in position. All of a sudden, my brother's there. I'm like, where the hell did you come from? He goes, I've been talking to you for 2 hours. I was like, no, I literally just got here and just got turned in my car. And then next thing you know, his girlfriend's there and my girlfriend's there and my dad's there and my buddy from work's there. I'm like, where the hell are you guys popping out of the middle of nowhere from? This is all going on. And by the time they finally checked me, which was like an hour and a half after I'd ate them Oreos, I was at a 167.
Mm-hmm.
My blood sugars were at a 167, so it dropped down. So I went from an extreme low to an extreme high in a matter of just moments.
Wow.
Get a real bad crown of war scars.
Here's my boyfriend, huh?
Heck yeah. Yeah. Ashley says, I'm a type 1 diabetic. I can absolutely relate to the blood sugar issue. Those lows are no joke. Yeah, they can. From what I understand, I was on the edge of taking a dirt nap.
Ooh.
When I got to the medical center, and that's why they rushed me to the hospital in the ambulance, because I couldn't talk. I knew what I wanted to say, but I couldn't get what I wanted to say out. Then it got to the point where I couldn't even think. Like I was like, I don't even know my name. I don't know my age. I don't know my name. I mean, I'm trying to think of what this stuff is, and it just wouldn't. I couldn't get it out.
That's terrifying, dude.
Yeah, I went to bed. Oh, dude. Yeah, that's probably not one of the happiest moments in my life.
I imagine
so.
Not.
That's why that's why when I fast, I can't go completely off of food, because it doesn't work very well for me, because I have bad reactions to it.
Right.
So, but still, I'm not going to be hungry enough to become a big W, though. I'm a fat guy. Man. I like food. I can bow hunt and I can rifle hunt. I'll find ways to get food in my belly.
Absolutely. Yep. The heck with that Wendigo stuff.
I'm crazy enough. Oh, yeah, dude. Dude, I'm crazy enough. I'll jump out of a tree. I don't care. Come right at it. Wow, man, this time is flying. We've been on for an hour and 47 minutes already. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Yep.
That is cool. So, you got any closing comments when it comes to this? We can start winding things down. I need to start doing some plugs too.
Oh yeah, I encourage everybody to actually research it. Look into the Wendigo and do the deep dives. Do like me and Eric have done, really deep dive this stuff. And if you want a source where you can actually research it a lot, my book is almost done. I hope to have it out by maybe December or January of this year. So if you're looking for a really good source on Wendigo stuff, just hit me up on Facebook and I'll sign you up for one of my books when it's done.
Heck yeah. Now give me 1 second here. Roxanne, if you wouldn't mind, I'll get Jessica Jones stuff here in a second. I need to play the commercial for Dark Angel Medical real quick. I didn't realize we had been talking this long. I was planning on doing it after the 1 hour mark.
Right.
But yeah, we had a pretty good conversation going today. So if you wouldn't mind, Roxanne, while I play the video. Yeah. I'm going to play the Dark Angel Medical commercial, and we'll do a couple plugs, and we'll So if you guys are looking for a great trauma kit or first aid kit, Dark Angel Medical, I can't advertise them enough. They are by far the very best trauma and first aid kits I've ever had. And I do not get money for sponsoring him. I love his product so much. I have 2 of them. I have the one that was in the commercial, which I take when I go out on field investigations. And I have one that sits on the headrest of my truck. They are FSHA and FSHA friendly, so you can use them to buy the kits. They are a little bit expensive, but they are kits for life. So if you use them to save a life, and you send Kerry Pocket Doc Davis a video or a story about how you saved a life, he will replace every bit of that kit for free. So if you're looking for something, you're going to spend a little bit of money, but it literally is 100% a kit for life. Go to darkangelmedical.com. Here in a shortly, D.A. Roberts is going to have his new show. He's got it's Campfire Tales with D.A. Roberts, if I remember correctly. It was up on the upper part there. It's going to be going on at 8 o'clock tonight, where he's going to be reading from his books. So go to YouTube and look up D.A. Moxina, give him a follow. Like me, if you go to Amazon, you type in D.A. Roberts, you can find his books available on Amazon. Click the name above his book. It will take you to his author's fan page. And anytime he releases a new book or any book he has out, you'll be able to get information on it from there. So make sure you go over and give him a holler and let him know I said hi. A really great researcher. I forgot to make your deal up. Daggone it. I'm going to type that in the comment deal. Jessica Jones, the Cryptid Huntress. Go to YouTube and look up the Cryptid Huntress. She's a really good researcher. She does really good investigations. Go over, give her a like, a follow, and a subscribe. Let her. I know she'll hit. I said hi. You will not be disappointed. I meant to make a command, and I got caught up in the dang game today. Let me, if I remember correctly, yours. Let me type this in here. Nope. I guess it'll help if I hit the. No, I was right.
Having a hard time tonight, huh?
I'm going to put this in the comment. Yeah. Let the daggone it, my fat fingers. Monsters in. Oh, wait, I did that wrong. I got to put YouTube first. Go to youtube.com and look up Let the Monsters In. And you'll find Ryan's shows on there, which is really good shows. I believe I typed that right. If I did that wrong in the comments, let me know. But I believe I typed that right in there. I'm trying to go off of memory.
You got it in.
All right. Right
Nice.
There's the link. You go there, you go to Ryan's show. Ryan's got some really good shows on there. So you can't go wrong with having that. Giving him a follow. Let him know I said hi, man. You heard his information firsthand today. He's really, really good at what he does.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Another one I do is I've kind of talked about him earlier today already, so we've already plugged them, which is good. If you're looking for a really good motorcycle mechanic around Springfield, Missouri, go see Peanut in Springfield, called Nuts and Bolts Harley Shop in Springfield, Missouri. Let him know I said hi. One of the best motorcycle mechanics in the area. Brock Blades. You're looking for a hand-forged knife that is 100% top grade, great freaking blades. You want to go to right down there's Nuts and Bolts Harley Shop, Springfield, Missouri. Talk to Peanut. Brock makes the absolute best hand-forged knives. He's a retired law enforcement officer. You can order two of the same knives and they won't look the same because he literally hand forges every single one of them by himself. So you're going to pay, just like Doc stuff, you're going to pay a little bit of money, but the product you get is by far the absolute best. Go give my friend Jesus Payon Jr. a follow. You may remember him from Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Two Guns, Albuquerque. I mean, he's been in 50 movies and TV shows. He's also got a book called, and I left it in my bedroom again, Baking Bad, and it tells a story of why he went on a diet and lost so much weight, and gives you the recipes on how to do it. So it's really good. You can find that book on Amazon. Go to YouTube and look up Breaking the Severies or Breaking Bigfoot to find Jesus Payon Jr.'s shows. There's the information from Rockaway. Thank you so much, Roxanne. Everybody give a hand to Roxanne. She's an awesome moderator. I'm so blessed. This is my mod. Down there at brockblades.com is where you want to go to get Brock's hand-forged knives. The co-host DX Machina, Robbie Rip Brains, has a show, YouTube channel. Him and Johnny do phenomenal work on it. It's called what's really out there. So go to youtube.com and look up what's really out there. And give Robbie a like, subscribe, and a follow. They're very, very good. Very, very good. And he'll joke and tell you they are DX Machina, like, quit chewing on my chair, boy. My chair is not your chair. Sorry about that. You know, my good friend, I'm on with him usually on Friday nights. Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings is William Nighthawk. William Nighthawk is a Lakota medicine man. He is a fountain of information. I mean, I am truly, truly blessed to have been put in the same path as William Nighthawk. You cannot go wrong. So go to YouTube and look at William Nighthawk 6630 and give him a like, subscribe, and a follow, and let him know I said hi. I'm thinking that's it. You can go to Teesprings to if you're looking for any merchandise I do have a 20% discount going on Teespring. If you go there to the Bizarre and the Unknown, I do also own the domain of the bizarreandtheunknown.com, which will take you straight to my merch store. And you can find my merch there. And up until November 1st, there is a 20% discount code, which is in the on the site. So if you go to the site, it'll show it to you. Thank you very much, Roxanne. TBATU 20 will give you 20% off any purchase. I've got many different lines of merchandise that I have available on there, and I'm always coming up with some new ones. You can find my books on Amazon. If you type in e.d.testerman in the search bar, all 5 of my books will be there. I should be having another one dropping soon. I should be getting the final edit back any day now on my latest one to come out. Viking Age, Secrets of Mercia, which is my historical fiction Viking Age book. So if you go to Amazon, the same way you do a DA, you click my name, it takes you to my author's fan page. Anytime I drop a book, you'll be able to get it there. If you want to donate to the show, I'm not asking you to, but if you want to, I have ways you can do it besides the merch store. You can go to Buy Me a Coffee at the Bizarre and the Unknown and donate there, because I don't have the 500 yet, so you can't do the super stickers and stuff like that. So I've got other ways to do it, and I'd welcome any of it. Like I said, I'm never going to ask you for a penny. I'm still going to do this no matter what. And I think that's it. Thank you, Roxanne. I know I'm missing one, but we'll be all right. I know I'm doing good. So at the end of my shows, I wrote a poem that I like to read. I could have sworn I'd seen somebody walk across your hallway back here, Ryan.
I hope not.
I literally just seen a figure go from left to right. That's why I stopped and paused for a second. Sorry, man. Yeah. I've got a poem that I like to write. That I read at the end of this show. And it goes, there comes a time when the warrior falls. They leave this realm and will be missed by all. Raise a glass and keep them in your heart. They have kept this realm safe and performed their part. Look to your veterans, your active duty, your EMTs in the blue line. What they do or have done was walk that fine line. When the demon comes calling on your soul, they will be there to save us all. Hold them in your prayers, for they are deserving. They all have served or are serving. Everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight. All my new subscribers, thank you. I'm truly blessed and humbled for every single one of you guys. Let's build this amazing universe. Give everybody a follow that I put, Ryan, me, and DA, and all the rest of them that I talked about tonight. Every single one of these people, the reason why I love giving their information out is because they are in my opinion, the very best in this field, because they really take the research to heart. And that's why I highly recommend all these channels, because they really take the research to heart, which I think is very important. So until next week, y'all, it's been a fun. It's been a pleasure. Ryan, thank you so much.
Hey, my pleasure, brother.
We got to do this again. I'll come up with another topic, but this was been great. These 2 hours flew by quick.
It did, man. All right.
So until next time, y'all, peace, love, and blessings.